As the sun climbs higher in the sky and the midday heat begins to press down on us, many of us find ourselves retreating indoors, reaching for the air conditioning dial or a glass of ice water that seems to melt far too quickly. We often feel a quiet, heavy exhaustion that isn't just about the temperature outside, but a sort of internal wilting. Our joints might feel a bit more inflamed, our energy dips, and that summer glow we see in magazines feels more like a persistent, uncomfortable dampness. In our modern world, we look for the quickest fix, usually something mechanical or artificial. But I want to invite you to look back with me today. Long before there were electric fans or refrigerated aisles, God provided a blueprint for staying vibrant and cool in the most arid climates on Earth. There is a profound wisdom in the ancient paths, a way to nourish the body that aligns with the rhythm of the seasons He created. Hello there, I'm David, and it is such a joy to spend this time with you today. We're going to explore 14 specific foods mentioned in the Holy Scriptures that are designed by the Creator to keep your body refreshed, hydrated, and naturally cool from the inside out. These aren't just random ingredients. They are part of a divine pharmacy that helped the patriarchs and the early church thrive under the Mediterranean sun. By the end of our time together, you'll have a complete summer grocery list that will help you reclaim your energy, soothe your system, and perhaps even deepen your appreciation for the way God cares for our physical tabernacles. We're going to talk about how these foods work at a cellular level, the stories behind them, and how you can easily bring them into your kitchen today. It is truly remarkable how much love is tucked away in the pages of our Bibles, even in the descriptions of a simple meal. I want you to stay with me until the very end, because the 14th item on our list is perhaps the most powerful of all, often referred to in ancient texts as a miracle of the desert for its ability to sustain life in the harshest heat. Before we dive into our countdown, I must share a small, natural reminder that while I have spent years studying these biblical truths and their health benefits, I am not a medical doctor. Always speak with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you are managing specific conditions or taking medications. Now, let us open our hearts and our cupboards to the cooling grace of the Word. We begin our journey with the cucumber, a vegetable so vital to the ancient Israelites that the prophet Isaiah speaks of a booth in a vineyard and a lodge in a garden of cucumbers. When the children of Israel were wandering in the wilderness, they looked back at Egypt and specifically remembered the cucumbers that refreshed them. There is a deep biological reason for this longing. A cucumber is roughly 95% water, but it isn't just ordinary water. It is structured, mineral-rich hydration. Imagine your body is like a parched garden bed in July. Plain water sometimes just runs through the cracks, but the cucumber acts like a slow-release sponge, holding moisture in your tissues longer. This is due to a compound called silica, which not only keeps your skin looking youthful, but also supports the health of your connective tissues and joints, which can often feel stiff in the humidity. A fascinating study from the University of Aberdeen found that the combination of salts, sugars, and vitamins in water-rich vegetables, like cucumbers, actually hydrates the body more effectively than plain water or even some sports drinks. I remember my grandmother always keeping a bowl of sliced cucumbers in vinegar on the porch during the dog days of August, and I never understood why she seemed so much more resilient to the heat than the rest of us until I saw the science. To get the most benefit, try to eat them with the skin on if they are organic, as that is where the silica lives. If you find them hard to digest, a quick soak in apple cider vinegar can help. Just a few slices in your afternoon water can turn a simple drink into a cooling elixir. Next, we look to the melons, which were mentioned alongside cucumbers in that same cry of longing in the book of Numbers. In the ancient Near East, melons were the primary source of safe, clean liquid when wells ran low or the water became brackish. They are nature's canteen. When we talk about staying cool, we have to talk about the blood. When your blood is thick and sluggish, your heart has to work harder, which generates internal heat. Melons contain a high concentration of citrulline, an amino acid that the body converts into arginine. This process helps to relax and dilate your blood vessels, much like opening a window in a stuffy room to let the breeze through. This improved circulation allows your body to move heat from your core to the surface of your skin, where it can dissipate. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry highlights how citrulline can even reduce muscle soreness after physical exertion in the heat. Think of a melon as a cooling balm for your entire cardiovascular system. However, for my friends who are watching their blood sugar, please be mindful. Melons have a high glycemic index, so it is best to enjoy them in moderation and perhaps pair them with a few raw nuts to slow down the sugar absorption. I love to start my summer mornings with a thick wedge of cantaloupe. It feels like a sweet, cold blessing that sets the tone for a peaceful day. The third item on our list is the leek. While we often think of leeks as a winter soup ingredient, the Bible lists them as a staple of the cooling diet in Egypt. Leeks are part of the allium family, but they are much gentler than their cousins. They are rich in a flavonoid called camphorol, which has been shown in various clinical studies to protect the lining of our blood vessels and reduce oxidative stress. In the summer, our bodies are under constant attack from ultraviolet radiation and heat-induced inflammation. Leeks act as a quiet, internal shield. They are also an incredible prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. We often forget that a hot or inflamed gut leads to a hot body. By keeping your digestion smooth and your microbiome balanced, leeks help maintain a steady internal temperature. Think of them as a gentle broom that cleans out the heat-generating toxins in your system. One thing to be cautious of is that leeks contain oxalates, so if you have a history of kidney stones, you'll want to enjoy them in smaller quantities. For a perfect summer meal, try lightly sautéing them and letting them cool, then tossing them into a fresh grain salad. They provide a subtle, onion-like flavor without the pungent heat that can sometimes make us feel flushed. Speaking of onions, they are our fourth biblical food. It might seem counterintuitive to eat something that can be spicy to stay cool, but the ancient world knew better. Onions are one of the richest sources of quercetin, a powerful antioxidant that acts as a natural antihistamine. During the summer, many of us struggle with seasonal allergies or skin irritations from the sun, both of which raise our internal temperature and cause discomfort. Quercetin helps to stabilize the cells that release histamine, effectively cooling the allergic response. Furthermore, onions have been used for centuries in traditional medicine to help the body sweat more efficiently. Now, I know sweating doesn't always feel pleasant, but it is God's built-in evaporative cooling system. By promoting healthy perspiration, onions help your body dump excess heat quickly. A study from the University of Parma found that regular consumption of onions could significantly improve markers of heart health and reduce systemic inflammation. If you find raw onions too harsh, try soaking them in cold water for 10 minutes before adding them to your salad. This removes the bite while keeping the cooling compounds intact. Just be careful if you have a sensitive stomach or suffer from acid reflux, as onions can sometimes trigger those symptoms. I've found that a little red onion on a cucumber salad is the perfect way to stay refreshed during a backyard gathering. Our fifth food is garlic, a plant that has been prized for its medicinal properties since the time of Moses. Garlic contains a sulfur compound called allicin, which is released when the clove is crushed or chopped. Allicin is a potent vasodilator, meaning it helps your blood vessels expand. In the height of summer, your body needs to move blood to the skin surface to stay cool, and garlic facilitates this process beautifully. It's like upgrading the radiator in your car so it doesn't overheat on a long mountain climb. Beyond that, garlic is a natural antimicrobial. In the heat, food can spoil faster, and waterborne illnesses were more common in ancient times. Garlic served as a protective barrier for the Israelites. Modern research in the journal Maturitas has shown that garlic can help lower blood pressure in people with hypertension, which is a common concern as we age and face the stress of heat. However, garlic can have a blood-thinning effect, so if you are on medications like warfarin, please consult your doctor. To get the most cooling benefit, crush your garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before eating it raw or adding it to your food at the very end of cooking. I like to rub a raw clove on a piece of toasted whole grain bread. It's a simple, ancient way to keep the heart strong and the body cool. Sixth on our list are grapes. When the spies returned from the land of Canaan, they brought back a cluster of grapes, so large it took 2 men to carry it on a pole. Grapes are a symbol of God's abundance and a primary source of hydration in the Bible. They are packed with resveratrol, a compound found in the skin that has been studied extensively for its ability to mimic the effects of calorie restriction and improve longevity. More importantly for our summer heat, resveratrol helps to improve the function of the endothelium, the thin membrane lining your heart and blood vessels. When this membrane is healthy, your body can regulate its temperature much more efficiently. Grapes also contain high levels of tartaric acid, which aids in digestion and helps to cool the digestive tract. Think of grapes as tiny, chilled globes of energy. They provide a quick hit of natural sugar to keep your spirits up when the heat makes you feel faint, but they also provide the water and antioxidants to protect you. A study in the Journal of Nutrition suggested that grapes can help protect skin cells from the damaging effects of UV radiation. My favorite summer trick is to put a bowl of grapes in the freezer. They become like little healthy sorbet bites that kids and grandkids love too. Just be mindful of the sugar content if you are managing diabetes, and always wash them thoroughly to remove any residues. The 7th food is the pomegranate, a fruit so highly regarded that its image was embroidered onto the hem of a high priest's robe. Pomegranates are cooling because they are incredibly high in polyphenol, specifically punicalagins. These are some of the most potent anti-inflammatories found in nature. When we are exposed to heat, our bodies produce inflammatory cytokines that can make us feel achy and sluggish. Pomegranate juice has been shown in studies, such as those conducted at the University of California, to reduce these markers of inflammation significantly. It's like pouring a cool, soothing rain over an internal fire. Pomegranates also support healthy blood flow and can help lower cholesterol. I think of the pomegranate as a symbol of the hidden health God provides. You have to break through the tough outer shell to find the hundreds of glistening, life-giving seeds inside. One caution: pomegranate juice can interact with certain medications, including some statins and blood pressure drugs, so do check with your pharmacist. You can enjoy the seeds on top of a salad or drink a small glass of the pure juice. It has a tartness that is incredibly refreshing when you're feeling the mid-afternoon wilt. Whenever I see a pomegranate, I'm reminded that God's blessings are often tucked away, waiting for us to seek them out. 8th, we find the figure. In the Old Testament, King Hezekiah was healed of a life-threatening boil by applying a poultice of figs. Figs are unique because they are very high in potassium, an essential electrolyte that we lose through sweat. When your potassium levels drop, you might experience muscle cramps, weakness, and an inability to regulate your body temperature. Eating figs is like recharging your body's internal battery. They are also incredibly high in fiber, which keeps the colon clean. A clogged system generates a lot of internal heat and discomfort, but figs keep everything moving smoothly. They have a naturally cooling thermal nature in traditional medicine, meaning they help to clear damp heat from the body. A study published in the journal Food Research International highlighted the high antioxidant capacity of figs, which helps protect our cells from the oxidative stress caused by summer temperatures. Because they are quite sweet, especially when dried. Keep your portion to 2 or 3. Fresh figs are a true summer delicacy if you can find them. I often think of the parable of the fig tree and how it signals the coming of summer. God gave us the sign and the solution in the very same plant. 9th on our journey is olive oil, the liquid gold of the Bible. It might seem strange to think of oil as cooling, but it is all about the type of fat. Olive oil is rich in oleocanthal, a compound that acts very similarly to ibuprofen in the body, reducing inflammation and pain. In the summer, our hearts have to work harder to pump blood to the skin for cooling, and olive oil provides the healthy monounsaturated fats that make the heart's job easier. It's like adding high-quality lubricant to a machine that's running hot. It reduces friction and allows everything to run more smoothly. Ancient people didn't just eat olive oil. They anointed their skin with it to protect against the sun. While we have modern sunscreens now, consuming olive oil helps protect your skin from the inside out. A famous study known as the Pradime trial showed that a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil significantly reduce the risk of cardiovascular events. When your heart is healthy, your body handles heat, stress much better. Be sure to choose extra virgin olive oil in a dark glass bottle to ensure the cooling compounds haven't been destroyed by light or heat. Use it as a dressing for your summer vegetables rather than cooking with it at high temperatures. I always keep a bottle on my table as a reminder of the Holy Spirit's anointing and the peace that it brings to both soul and body. The 10th food is barley. In the book of Ruth, we see the beautiful story of redemption unfolding in the barley fields. Barley is one of the most cooling grains you can consume. In ancient times, barley water was the standard drink for those working in the fields to prevent heat stroke. Barley contains beta-glucans, a type of soluble fiber that slows down the absorption of sugar and keeps your energy level steady. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes, your body temperature fluctuates, making you feel more sensitive to the heat. Barley provides a slow burn that keeps you cool and collected. It is also a natural diuretic, helping to flush out excess sodium and reduce the swelling in ankles and feet that many of us experience when it's humid. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has shown that barley can significantly lower bad LDL cholesterol, further supporting heart health. If you are sensitive to gluten, you should avoid barley, but for everyone else, it is a summer powerhouse. You can make your own barley water by simmering the grains, straining the liquid, and adding a squeeze of lemon. It's a tradition that goes back thousands of years, and after a long walk in the sun, there is nothing quite like it to bring your core temperature back down. 11th, we look at wheat, specifically whole, ancient grains. The bread of life was not the refined, white flour we often see today. Whole wheat contains a wealth of B vitamins and magnesium. Magnesium is often called the calmative mineral. It helps to relax the nervous system and the muscles. When we are stressed by the heat, our nervous system can go into a fight or flight mode, which increases our heart rate and internal temperature. Magnesium helps to flip the switch back to rest and digest, allowing the body to cool itself. Furthermore, the fiber in whole wheat helps to regulate the transit of food through the gut, preventing the buildup of heat-producing toxins. A study from Harvard University found that people who ate whole grains had a lower risk of inflammatory diseases. When you choose whole wheat, you are choosing a steady, cooling fuel. Just be mindful of how much bread you eat if you are watching your weight, as even healthy grains are calorie-dense. I like to think of the grain of wheat that must fall into the earth and die to produce a harvest. It reminds me that sometimes we have to let go of our modern preferences for refined foods to find the true life and cooling power God intended. 12th on our list is honey. In the book of Proverbs, we are told, "Eat honey, my son, for it is good." While honey is a sweetener, it is also a complex biological substance full of enzymes and antioxidants. In the heat of summer, our throats can become dry and irritated, and our energy can flag. Honey provides an immediate but gentle lift. It also has a unique ability to help the body retain the right amount of moisture. In ancient medicine, honey was used to treat burns and skin irritations because of its cooling, soothing properties. When consumed, it can have a similar effect on the internal linings of the body. A study in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that honey can improve the gut microbiota and reduce markers of systemic inflammation. Because it is a sugar, those with diabetes should use it very sparingly, and it should never be given to infants under 1 year old. But for a healthy senior, a teaspoon of raw, local honey in a glass of room temperature water can be incredibly restorative. It's a reminder of the land flowing with milk and honey, and the sweetness of God's provision even in the middle of a dry season. 13th is the almond. When Aaron's rod budded, it produced almond blossoms and fruit. Almonds are a fantastic source of vitamin E, which is a fat-soluble antioxidant that specifically protects our cell membranes from oxidative damage. The sun's rays create free radicals in our skin and bodies, and vitamin E is the primary defense against them. Eating almonds is like putting on an internal layer of sun protection. They are also rich in healthy fats and protein, which provide satiety without making you feel heavy or overheated like a large meal of meat might. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that snacking on almonds can help reduce belly fat, which is often a source of inflammatory heat in the body. I find that a small handful of almonds in the afternoon is just enough to keep me going until dinner without feeling weighed down. If you find them hard to chew, you can soak them overnight to soften them and make the nutrients even more bioavailable. They are a symbol of watchfulness and promise in the Bible, and they certainly keep a watchful eye over our health during the summer months. Finally, we reach our 14th item, the date. The Bible often compares the righteous to a palm tree, and in the ancient world, the date palm was the tree of life. Dates are perhaps the most remarkable cooling food because they are designed by God to thrive in the hottest places on earth. They are packed with minerals like potassium, magnesium, and copper, and they provide a dense source of energy that doesn't require the body to generate much heat to digest. In many desert cultures, a few dates and a drink of water are all that is needed to sustain a person through a day of travel in the sun. They help to balance the body's electrolytes and provide a natural hit of fiber that keeps the digestive system cool. A study in the journal Food and Function highlighted the potent anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor properties of dates. They are nature's perfect cool-down candy. Because they are very high in natural sugar, I usually recommend eating just 1 or 2 at a time. I like to stuff a date with a little bit of almond butter for a perfect biblical snack that feels like a decadent treat, but is actually a powerful tool for health. They remind us that even in the most barren, hot deserts of our lives, God can bring forth something incredibly sweet and life-sustaining. Think about the beautiful tapestry we've just woven together. From the hydrating crunch of the cucumber and the vessel-dilating power of the melon, to the prebiotic grace of leeks and the protective shield of onions and garlic. We've seen how grapes and pomegranates offer a burst of antioxidants, while figs and barley restore our vital electrolytes. We've learned how olive oil and whole wheat keep our internal machinery running smoothly, and how honey, almonds, and dates provide the energy and protection we need to flourish. Each of these foods is a testament to a creator who knows exactly what our bodies need to handle the heat of the day. It's a rhythmic, natural way of living that ties the images of the Bible, the vineyards, the fields of Boaz, the gardens of the kings, directly to the health of our own physical bodies today. Healing and health are rarely about a single miracle pill. Instead, they are about the slow daily nourishment of our bodies with the things God has provided. Ancient wisdom isn't outdated. It is foundational. When we return to these biblical foods, we aren't just eating. We are participating in a tradition of wellness that has sustained generations. We are acknowledging that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit and that how we fuel them matters. This summer, as you walk through the grocery store or your local farmer's market, I want you to see these items not just as groceries, but as invitations to experience God's cooling grace. I encourage you to pick just 1 or 2 of these foods to start with this week. Perhaps you'll try making a batch of barley water, or you'll keep a bowl of frozen grapes ready for those humid afternoons. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these biblical foods is your favorite, or which one surprised you the most? If this message has been a blessing to you, please consider sharing it with a friend who might be struggling with the summer heat, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue this journey of faith and health together. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and give you peace, and may your body and soul be refreshed by His wonderful provision. Go in health and in the cooling shadow of His wings. Amen.